My name is Jonathan Cedar. I'm the co-founder and CEO of BioLite. We make personal scale energy devices for off-grid communities around the world. About half the planet still lacks access to modern energy for cooking, for lighting, for charging, right? Like really basic things. And what BioLite wants to do is bring access to these, what we think are really fundamental energy rights to everybody. But we're doing it in this model that we call parallel innovation, where we invest very deeply in these core technologies for energy and commercialize them, you know, in one part in rural communities in developing countries, and then in another part in recreation and emergency preparedness markets, where we can sell product to wealthier, more easily accessed customers, and essentially cash flow the very, long path to, service the other 3 billion people with modern energy. Our first products are wood-burning stoves that make electricity from the heat of their fire, and that electricity does two pretty cool things. One is it powers fans that basically turn the solid wood into gas, and so it burns super clean and hot like gas, so you get this safe, manageable flame, and then also gives you a little bit of extra electricity to charge mobile phones and LED lights. A wood fire, there's about 5,000 watts of thermal energy available, and we needed 1 watt of electrical energy to turn these fans that did these really profound transformations. And so that was aha moment number one, was like, how do we just turn heat into electricity? And turns out there's actually really good ways to do that. So we use a technology called thermoelectrics, which are basically solar panels for heat instead of light. And so we can directly sap a little bit of that thermal energy, turn it into electricity to do these really useful things, right? So that was aha moment number one. And it was about 3 years in where we took this prototype to a conference, which we thought was just about advanced wood combustion. And it turned out the conference is about the fact that half the planet's still cooking on open wood fires. These wood fires cause more premature deaths every year than HIV, TB, and malaria combined, and there's just no good technologies to deal with it. And our weird, funky prototype won the cleanest stove of the year, and it was the only one not plugged into the wall to burn that clean, right? And we were like, oh, huh. We had this really small niche market that was about us, right? As campers and outdoor enthusiasts. And then we had this huge market that was almost so big it couldn't be funded, right? So we had one thing that was too small for VC and one thing that was way too big for VC. And I think that was aha moment number two, was everyone kept telling us you have to pick one or the other, right? Are you going to be a camping company or are you going to be a development company? And aha moment number two was both of these things are subcritical by themselves, right? One's too small and one's too big. And that's, for us, that was aha moment that really kicked off BioLite as the company that it is, was by combining these two things, they really positively reinforce one another. And we can use the revenue from our recreation markets to make very long-term investments in our emerging markets, which eventually need to be commercially sustainable on their own, but take much more time and much more capital. And at the same time, we can offer our recreation customers the opportunity to be a part of a much larger story than just their camping experience.